Hello buddy, welcome to another quick video. Today I'll talk about boring locations and the fact that if you come from somewhere you think it's boring. You see it every day, whereas in reality it's not. So we're going to have a look and see if there's a tried and trusted way to make a boring location interesting and get you great shots from it. So we're in Uttoxeter at the moment in Staffordshire. We just basically came down the road just to have a look around. And we're going to have a bit of a wander around, quite a historical town. But from the outside, you think it's boring. So let's see what we can find and how we can make things that ordinarily wouldn't really do much into something interesting. Let's have a wander. So today I'm out with the GX9 and the 15mm on. It's my go-to street, so that's what I'm using. But what makes somewhere boring? Essentially, it's the familiarity of something. We here in the UK very much, we've grown up with the high street decline, things sort of changing more to online, so you move more into a best way to put it, a detached world. So what was once a thriving high street with independent shops all turns into, well, these days vape bars, barbers, nail bars, and just things are just closing down. There's not a lot of actual retail around because it's so much easier to do things online. It's a sad state of affairs, but it just means that you've got places like this where everything is closed. Ordinarily you might think that's sort of a boring subject, but you can use this to your advantage. Use a way of photography that will make this sort of thing interesting, almost like a documentary style, and give you, well, it's essentially a banging shot out of very little. So places like this are ideal because you've got this brutal style of architecture that came around in the 60s. Now apparently all this is being sort of knocked down for replaced by flats, but it gives us some lovely angles, some really nice subjects. You can play with this, include a bit of black and white, and get a real sort of deep feel to it. Obviously, I'm shooting in colour at the moment, so we'll be converting afterwards. But if you were set on our monochrome here, you'd have a field day. It's something, it looks timeless, I think that's the key to it. But from somewhere that, you wouldn't really think of anything here. You think, there's no shots to be had. But let me just walk you through this. That frontage there, despite the fact it's old and tattered, is really interesting. I mean, we are blessed a bit with the light today, but even so, the frontage there just works so nicely because it's so different. I mean, if you look along next to it, it's your standard sort of glass fronted shop, but that is just different enough, which is quite interesting. Obviously you've got the planters here that are just absolutely full of weeds, but that is different, and that gives you a bit of extra subject essentially. So you can use that instead of just a basic sort of shop front like you got for the rest of it. Just something with a bit of interest. So that's the sort of thing that can make a difference. Obviously this is just one section of the town. This is just something we've just stumbled across. We've never been here before, we've driven through it a few times. We thought, oh, we'll nip it. We just wanted to pop out while the weather was all right, because we are due a bit more rain later. So we're just having a wander through. And it's a sad state of affairs that this sort of thing is here. I mean, this was, back in the 60s, this was the height of retail and how things were going to be. But times changed, things have moved on. And obviously, from speaking to one of the locals, they are actually redeveloping this so the whole site will be turned into flats. So at least they'll be using it for something rather than just leaving derelict like it is now. So as you may have seen around as well, there's some Christmas decorations up. So we're in late July. Nah, just kidding, we're in late November at the moment. So you can use those to your advantage as well. So a little bit of, sort of fun bit, but just show you this here. That is a really unique use of planters for old wellies. Brilliant thing, you can use that as a subject. So what would be just a wall is something a little bit interesting. Play with your framing a little bit. You can get a really nice shot out of that. So just little things like that can really sort of stand out and just gives you a bit of interest where ordinarily there wouldn't be. So when the light's out, you've got areas like this that you can play with. Older buildings, building just here, you can make that out. Lovely shapes all the way up there. That's the sort of thing you can play with as well. So you can take these sort of shots, but play with your settings on your camera. Underexpose, overexpose. You can do this in post, obviously, which is what I'm going to do. But up there, with light hitting that, I'm going to grab a shot of that. And I'm thinking, yeah, quite a nice strong black and white will really suit that nicely. So, things you need to look at when you're in a boring location. Light, how that interacts with the buildings. Things like this. There's an alleyway with a bit of interest at the end. Use that, especially if you sort of underexpose things in post, you can make it so that it leads you in. It tells a bit of a story, which is the idea I think about this sort of area. You can make the shots tell a story because you're always asking what's around that corner, what's that doing. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can do this absolutely anywhere. Whether it's your local town, even if you don't use a camera, you can use your phone. You can do that sort of thing with it. I mean, we're just having a bit of a rain shower at the moment, so I was just ducked into this alleyway. But even things, silly things like this, a red door, even things like bins, they can make such a difference. When I'm just looking down here at the moment, and there's a bin outside Lloyd's Bank with some lovely light hitting it. That'll also give you a bit of a subject, get your framing right. It's ideal. And from what you've got here, if you can sort of square crop that, that'll actually make quite a nice effect. There's a little bit too much light coming through the window up there, but if you frame that right, you can get a bit of a cracking shot out of it. It's really straightforward and easy. So 3 things that are most important when you're just shooting stuff like this. First thing, get your framing right. Understand what you're taking a shot of. Obviously just here we've got this fantastic old building, but you've got a bit of mess around it, so you've got to sort of work with your framing, make it look nice. Composition still counts. Your other thing, exposure. Whether it's in post or in camera, make sure you know what you're doing with your exposure and how you're editing, because that can take something that's just plain and boring into something really special. Third one, which is probably the most important, understand how your camera's working. Even if you're just using a phone, make sure that you know what your framing's like, you know how your shutter speed's working, because especially if you're doing late at night, you don't want to blow everything out with loads of noise. An extra bonus one, which can do this absolutely anywhere, is just walk around. You don't need the camera with you, just walk around. Look at things. Train your eye to see what most people just walk by and don't really take any notice of. But you can see things that others don't necessarily sort of see. And it gives you a new edge on things. It gives you something that ordinarily you wouldn't really bother looking at. It turns into a nice photograph. It tells a story of what you're here for and sort of what the town's about. They can make a real massive difference. I'll just show you this bit here. This is just an alleyway between a couple of shops. But if you look down, there's actually a bit of interest. There's a little bit of mess on the floor, but there's some footprints in the concrete. Pan up, you've got a little bit of interest here. You've got post boxes. There's a couple of beams over in the distance. Just here, there's some fantastic old beams on the wall. So there's a lot of interest you can pull out of one shot really easily. which means something that most people just walk straight by. They wouldn't even bother looking at that. You can get a shot in, and it gives you something different. It's telling the story of a place. It's giving it a new edge that people ordinarily just wouldn't bother seeing. And yeah, that's what photography is about. It's putting your stamp on things, and yeah, it's your creative edge that is unique to yourself. Nobody else has got that same one. So that's what makes the difference. I suppose the other thing to consider as well is your weather conditions. Obviously, we're getting showers coming through at the moment, so all these nice cobbled streets, giving them nice reflections. You can use that to your advantage as well. There's so much you can do. Like I say, you don't even need a camera. You can go out with your phone if you wanted to. You can still get some great shots, but you've got to have that thing. You've got to know what you're doing with your camera first, whether it's something great like this GX, or if you've got your phone with you, you've still got to have that understanding, so it's not just something you can just snap away, because the elements of photography are still in there, but that's how you can make something boring into something banging. So, as the rain's coming down again now, we'll close the video off here, but get yourself out there and go and have a play. Maybe it's in your local town and see what sort of things you can get. You might find some hidden gems that you didn't even know were there. And remember what I said, get your composition, play with your exposure, and you can take a completely boring scene and turn it into something absolutely fantastic. Use your creativity. You know you can do it. But be a few more shots coming up now at the end. And I think we're going to go and grab a coffee and get out of this rain. But if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. And if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Free of charge, and it doesn't cost you a penny. But from what is now quite a cold and a little bit rainy Uttoxeter in East Staffordshire, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Take care.
Four feet on the stripes in the Alabama highway, out there in the open, just a wishing and a hoping. I could smell the pines when I let you in the doorway. Took the seat next to mine like you've been there before. I'm befriended and in illusion. I could never stand to lose you. I get by when you're at my side. I'm befriended and in illusion. At the end of my bed, in the palm tree lightning, it was nothing you did, I just felt my low lightning. Now we talk all the time,